Welcome everyone. This is Isa from Plantas Californias and sharing with you how my plants are inside. These are my interior plants, mostly tropicals. I decided to relocate some of my plants from the outside to the inside. And as you may see, I have some of my monsteras, my sansevierias. I have my rubber plant and also my ficus. Welcome, friends. I hope everyone is having a great day today. We're half 103. It is extremely hot for my plants, so we're gonna be checking how's my garden. In the meantime, Nacho is wondering how far we're gonna go with this heat. I just need a pina colada and going to the pool because I can't tolerate this heat anymore, even though he got some food and has also water. I want to share with you how my plants, especially those that are for the summertime, like my vincas, can tolerate this heat. These are plants that even though today the weather is not really good for them, they can actually tolerate any heat drop. And here we go. I water them in the morning or in the afternoon, late at night, and they seem to absorb all the water, such as my Transcantias. These are plants that can hold water in their stems, and that's why they look as brilliant and bright with those colors. Instead of just dropping leaves, they seem to be more crispy, more full, giving that basket a beautiful look like this one. And they seems to do well. And also this Mexican jasmine with those blue beautiful colors in those flowers. As long as I water them, these are plants like my portulaca. They also keep giving us flowers in the garden non-stop. They hold water as well in their stems, so they need water, like also my lantanas come in different colors, but they need water every day. They do need to be watered. With my bird of paradise, but also the top number one will be my hibiscus. They love heat and also give us those beautiful flowers. And don't forget the bougainvilleas with all these bright colors. They need water. As long as they have water, they can tolerate the heat, and I usually give them water. The portulacas also hold water in their stems, and that's why they can tolerate this excessive heat. And don't forget about my alocasia. This alocasia tends to be more beautiful with the heat. Unbelievable. Look at those dark leaves. Some of my hibiscus, such as these ones, they need water every day. They do need water often, even though the leaves might be so dry and weak. Well, today, my friends, we're going to be talking about geraniums and how I do a caring and maintenance during summertime. I do believe they are really mama dramas during summertime. Why? Because they go through a lot of issues, especially in leaves. Look at this beautiful color. Some of them are giving me flowers, others are not. But they during summertime they tend to have diseases, and these are the 9 common geranium diseases in here listed. And especially in their leaves, they tend to have yellow colors and change of colors, a little bit weaker, a little bit whiter, or they have spots in their leaves. They have dark spots, and sometimes when you see the plant is already dead. So we have to be careful about checking in our leaves in those geraniums almost every day. And here are some of the Transcantias that I'm going to be moving to the other side of my patio, because I'm going to be relocating those geraniums that I just listed in here. So some of the other plants that can tolerate the heat is the callas. The callas are beautiful plants. They always give us flowers, but they cannot be exposed directly to the sun because their leaves will become dry. They turn really bad, and I feel sorry for these plants, so I decided to put them around my patio in here, so they can grow a little bit taller and give me that kind of cover just from plants in that area and keep away the glare from that section. And going to be doing also 2 transplants, and this is calathea, and this is my sansevieria. It's another plant. I have 2 more left that I needed to do because they're uprooted. So This calathea seems to not grow for the last 4 months, but it has a lot of leaves in it. So I'm wondering something is wrong with the plant. When you see that the plant is not growing, it has yellow leaves, but it's still alive, something must be wrong with the plant, so we can always check the roots. Here are some of my geraniums that I relocated. Finally, while I was talking, I was working, my friends. Ivy geraniums, they tend, hopefully they will grow. They tend to be a little bit weaker during summer, and here are my portulacas. They are okay with this heat today, and we're gonna see how far they're gonna go and how they're gonna keep growing with the treatment that I'm gonna be doing. I'm going to be also repotting later on, not now because the heat is gonna kill this plant. This is a papaya plant that grew in this small hanging basket with my succulent. I don't know how that happened, but it is growing, my friends. It is growing, so I'm gonna wait until the heat goes down a little bit, and then I'm going to transplant this to a bigger pot, and hopefully it'll be happy. But we're gonna continue with our cleaning in here. This is a day that is early in the morning. I decided to do this before the afternoon, and I'm redoing this before 10 o'clock. So here we go. We are setting some of these geraniums in here. They seem to be happy. It's a little bit of shade and also some sun, but not too much. And here we go. This is the final project. And they're gonna stay here for a while until winter, I should say, because my goal with the geraniums is to keep them healthy, for more leaves, to keep the plant growing. Even though might not have flowers, I don't mind. This is like a recess that they're taking because of the heat. And I also taking the opportunity to plant a little bit more of spider plants from the mother. I'm pulling all those babies and replanting. And some of my other plants are not really happy. Some are dead, dried, dead. And the ferns seems to like this section as well. So we're going to continue with the project. Hopefully, if you see that the plant leaves also have some of these diseases, you can use copper, spray copper or any fungicide that have copper in the leaves, and try to water just the bottom. Do not water the leaves because this causes a lot of the diseases. The change in the weather from dry to heat, humidity, or from cold to heat, and also any strong winds, and also the pets, all those crickets that are not welcome in my garden, as the caterpillar and others, and especially those flies and those white flies as well, that they come and just are so bad for our plants. These are the new sansevierias that I had to repot. These sansevierias, the only thing I do with them is give them coffee, liquid coffee, and that's how I water them, to the point that they have a lot of roots and new growth, and that's what I want them to continue growing and give me more leaves, because I want to have the whole pot full of leaves, and they look nice like that. And that's what I want to have, more growth. That's the goal. And here we go. We're going to repot this sansevierias in here. And this is the pot that I'm going to be using. Is almost a good one because it's going to develop. I was keeping these two plants behind and they needed a new pot. Thank you. I know they're happy. Okay, and the other thing that I do when they look like that all open, I use a rubber band to kind of keep them together, and they will grow like that. And look, this is what I'm talking about, coffee. This is what coffee does. Give you new growth and give the plant more roots, which also help for the growth and keep the plant green. Well, this was my other project. The calathea has a lot of California worms, and those worms are not good for the plants. They eat the whole plant. I had to pull them all the way from the top to the root, and I don't like them at all. I really don't. And this is a plant that I bought 4 months ago, and look, I'm pulling all those worms that are so sticky inside the plant, and that's not good for any plant. It would like the new pot. It's a terracotta, with peat moss, potting soil, a little bit of perlite, and pine bark with fertilizer as well. We are kind of mixing everything so it can fit into the plant. I had to remove mostly all the soil, and here we go, the new plant in the new pot is the new kid in the block. Hopefully it will stay like that and it will grow. Otherwise I will let you know if the plant died. But here we go, look at those leaves. I love those leaves. Hopefully the plant will react to our new soil and all the changes, and it will not stress and become a mama drama. Here we go. The terracotta I'm using is because it's helping me with the moist, so the plant will not be overwatered. I usually recycle my coffee in the morning, and I use it twice. I drink the first part of the coffee that I make, and the second one I make a new pot for my plants, and I'm adding a little bit of cinnamon. The cinnamon will help for any fungus or any problems in the roots. That's what I like to add it into my coffee and water all my geraniums with it. This I'm going to be doing my whole summer through winter. Why? Because I want a stronger plant, stronger roots, and also stronger leaves and more green leaves. And here we go. This is the water that I'm going to be using, and hopefully I'm going to check in a couple of days to see how they're doing. And usually in summertime I don't do a lot of fertilizer for my geraniums because they're suffering already. Here's some of the diseases like the rots of the geraniums that has to do a lot with different conditions also of the plant. If we go from cold to hot, hot to cold, it tends to damage the leaves a lot. Also, if we water the plant, overwater the plant, it will cause yellowing in the leaves, and we need to actually remove all the leaves and place dry soil and keep it a little bit with perlite so it will dry out. Some of these diseases can also be caused by those pets, ugly pets that we get from those the butterfly, from the geranium butterflies, and also we get those crickets, caterpillars. We can get all kind of animals eating our leaves and cause also disease. I'm going to continue watering them once every 2 days. I don't want to overwater them. And also the worst of the diseases that can get into this plant, we have to use copper. Spray a little bit of copper around their leaves after 6 at night. Do not do it during the heat or hot days because it will damage their leaves as well. So we're going to continue watering the geraniums around the soil, around, not over the plant, but around. Also, the rest of the coffee, the ground coffee that I use, I dry it out outside and I spray it around my plant. That helps the plants a lot as well to keep the nitrogen a little bit close to the root. Let me tell you, my friends, I want to thank you everyone for those who are coming, who are deciding to stay and give us, well, that like that helped the channel. I want to thank you also for all different parts of Central, South, and North America that are always checking in our channel, and also the Europe, Spain, and other countries that like to check on the channel. Welcome to everyone. Well, this is how it's gonna look for now. Some of these are just growth of plants that I had in spring, and they keep growing, so I'm glad and happy, and hopefully they stay healthy throughout the weather and falls. And next year we will have stronger plants with more leaves. And these are the kitty cats. I decided to release Buttercup to her mom. I didn't want to keep them around, and here's Brad. But also I have some damage on my garden, such as my daisies that they dried due to the excessive heat. I couldn't recover the plant. Well, that's all for today. If you want to subscribe, you're welcome to do so. If you like the video and you want to be part of this group, don't forget to hit the bell and hit that like so we can be here again. See you.